Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin bubble news channel. 2000 was more of a stock cycle than a debt cycle. When the debt cycle hit in 2008, it was really the end of the currency market. It was the point where we all knew it had to end. You can't have this much power. Pay attention to what's going on. We're spreading power around. This means that people can now have a power source in their homes. That's why you don't need the big storage. A lot of people say that you can't scale solar, at least at the house level. It's likely possible at the village level. That means you're spreading out the grid as a whole. According to Raoul Pa, CEO of Real Vision, there is a simple pattern or cycle that links many things, such as Bitcoin, the market, and even federal elections. He thinks this cycle began when governments printed more money and dropped interest rates after the 2008 financial crisis. As a result, things like business growth and the prices of assets like stocks and Bitcoin go up and down at the same rate every 4 years. Now let us watch clips of Raoul Pa talking about what he thinks about the job market right now. Do yourself a favor and like this movie. Also, subscribe to get daily crypto news. We hope you have fun. If you want to see more crypto and Bitcoin news, check out our daily 5-minute crypto email before the rest of the video. It's a great breakdown and study of on-chain crypto data. And the best part is that it's free. In short, they'll talk about what experts think will happen, how on-chain crypto data is broken down, and any breaking news you need to know. To become a better crypto trader right now, click the first link in the description and enter your email address. Over 50,000 other people have already done the same thing. Yes, and tell me what's strange about everything. It's strange that it makes everything so easy. It's too easy. This is something that most people think is impossible. Yes, in the world of Bitcoin, we kind of knew it because we could see a cycle forming. We've been watching this cycle, but it seems like it's only the halving cycle. We're not sure. After looking more closely, I found that the business cycle was just right. So I used the ESM poll to find the business cycle, and it was dead on. I thought that was strange because before 2008, there were long stretches of no recession followed by short ones. It wasn't always the case, it changed. All of a sudden, though, it sounds like a clock. I wonder what that's all about. Over time, it helped me understand that 2008 was probably the big restart. It was the one that everyone was waiting for. They told everyone that they could skip paying interest on all of their bills, which meant that there were no interest rates. Next, they tried the new method of quantitative easing, which is to print money. Now, that made it possible for every important government in the world to refinance all of their debts over the next 3 to 5 years. That's what they all did. It made the business cycle go in a 4-year loop. Then, the prices of all assets are linked. This is true for tech, Bitcoin, the economy, and everything else. They are all affected by the same cycle, which is the presidential election cycle. Any of them, even the Bitcoin half cycle, they all mean the same thing. That makes the game a lot easier once you know it. This won't last forever, but for now, everything seems to be going just right. One of these cycles can be broken down into 4 parts, which I call seasons. You can call it crypto winter or mega winter. That was in 2022, that was in 2018, that was in 2014, which is 4 years ago. Spring comes next. At that point, no one really thinks that anything is changing, but prices start going up. Most people didn't think Bitcoin would have a good year in 2023, but it did. As the saying goes, spring is when the shoots come up, then it gets closer to summer, which is this year because it's an election year. Here are 2 ways to look at this 8% drop in the value of the coin. People are being robbed of their future wealth, which is a fair point. Your future self is getting poorer because you can't buy as many assets with the money you make now because income doesn't go up. However, assets do go up because of debasement. On the other hand, you can say, I'm paying an 8% put option fee that the whole system doesn't break, which is also what they're doing, because they need to pay off the bill again. They shouldn't let the prices of assets drop too much. We can talk about that. But there is another way to look at it, and you ask yourself, would you pay 8% a year to make sure not a single thing breaks? It's possible that 2000 was more of an equity cycle than a loan cycle. When the debt cycle hit in 2008, it was really the end of the currency market. We all knew this point would come, where it would be like, you can't have this much power. And if the collateral, which is house prices, which is not a changeable collateral, starts to go down, the whole system is put under a collateral call. When they saw that everything was going to blow up, they chose to stop it. At that point, I don't think they really knew what they were doing. That being said, Europe had the same problem in 2012, which is 4 years later. Greece's government couldn't pay its debts. Okay, this was a crisis between powerful countries. Then Draghi said, I'll do anything that meant I will debase the currency to keep the collateral from falling so that we can strengthen the system. That then made the whole thing worse. In 2012, when I was living in Europe, things got so bad that I had to buy tin food and a generator. That's when I became interested in Bitcoin. I was scared because I thought our banking system would fail. Spain had to take out a $19 billion loan to save itself because, well, I lived there. They did not wish to accept it. We also thought the banks would go away. It's clear that Cyprus lost its banking system. The money was taken from everyone's account. But what was interesting was that I went around the world with some friends and family companies trying to start the safest bank in the world. We also met with the DTCC, Euroclear, and the New York Fed in secret. Now, the DTCC and Euroclear are in charge of the whole system. I read that Euroclear had to lend $50 billion in emergency funds when Lehman failed. So I asked them, what was the security for that loan? That's when they said, oh, we have to use the positions of all the members of the Fed. Is that a customer or house account? In other words, is it mixed? They say, oh, it's all mixed up at our level. There is a claim on everything. I'm like, okay. Then I called the DTCC and said, oh no, I called Euroclear and asked what would happen if Spain or Italy went bankrupt. They said that after that, all of the system's collateral is gone and nothing is left. Now I understand how important the government debt was. It was the same question I asked the DTCC and the New York Fed. Both said yes, they would lend if something happened to JP Morgan. They would give money to the system and use customer positions as security. I thought, okay, so you don't really own anything. I also asked the New York Fed, what is the leverage in us treasuries? They said, we believe that treasuries are backed up to 42 times. Wow, that's 42 claims on the same thing. If bad things happen, that's what makes them scared. Of which I think they became aware in 2012. And I think they all got the point, which was okay, we'll have to keep making money off of this until we can grow our way out of it. If we can, he splits the year into 4 seasons. It's winter and things are hard. In the spring, things start to get better. The summer is when bills are refinanced and new money is made to keep things going, and fall, when the cycle reaches its peak. This trend might not last all the time, but for now it helps us understand these big trends better. Here are some more videos of OPAL. Pay attention to what's going on. We're spreading power around. This means that people can now have a power source in their homes. That's why you don't need the big storage. A lot of people say that you can't scale solar. At least at the house level, it's likely possible at the village level. This means that you are decentralizing the whole grid. Watch what Microsoft and Amazon do with OpenAI and nukes now. Along with these very important huge GPU systems, they are going to build small nuclear plants. I believe we are seeing autonomous AI in power. What does robots mean? They'll probably become some kind of decentralized workforce that is first controlled and then decentralized. That doesn't make sense to me. Spread out money. I agree with everything you said. That's where we're going. I mean, we're getting into all of these economic singularity ideas about how the world economy will change, but listen up, the next version of ChatGPT is likely to be agentic. If you're Mark and you want to start a business, you could go on Fiverr and ask these guys to build you a deck, do some brand design, or write some copy.